Welcome, folks, to the Speed Demon NSRL series. We are live tonight at Pocono Raceway for the Speed Demon Bent Parts Sim Lab 188. I am Rick Souza, and I'm joined here in the booth with my co-host, John DeRudris.
Yeah, Rick, we are at the Tricky Triangle tonight, and these Xfinity Series, these Grand National Series drivers, I think they're going to have a little bit of a handful. From what we've seen in qualifying and what we've seen in practice, these cars seem to be slipping and sliding all the way through the Tricky Triangle here tonight. So let's pull up some quick track facts and get a little rundown about what we are expecting to see here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188. So right off the bat, it's going to be a pretty average day for temperature, 75 degrees, 48% humidity, partly cloudy with a little bit of wind, so that's not going to be affecting these cars much down the straights. 75 laps is your full length of the race today, with stage 1 ending on 15, stage 2 ending on stage 30, and a 45-lap run to the end. There is a 6 set of tire rule, and obviously completely open setups, and one qualifying lap. Very interesting here, only one qualifying lap for these Grand National drivers. So, Rick, I've raced at Pocono before. Feel like you almost have to get one lap underneath you before you're able to really start on your second lap, just because of how different each corner is.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly with this track being as long as it is, with really 3 different corners, you need to get some heat in those tires.
Yeah, absolutely you do, and I expect to see a lot of slipping and sliding around tonight. I'm going to talk about that in my keys to the race once it comes up, but expect to see a little bit of maybe not a turn 1 or a turn 2 monster, but maybe a turn 3 monster. We'll see, but I expect these cars to be slipping and sliding throughout the entire track tonight.
Yeah, I completely understand. We've got a limited number of competitors here tonight. We'll shake that down once we get a starting grid, and we'll go through who's here, and also we can cover the points, because this is, as we're beginning to progress here through the race season, points are accumulating.
Yes, they are, Rick. So let's bring up the point standings if you have them, and I'll let you read off our point standings as we have them going into this Pocono race today.
Well, definitely we'll cover the top 10 for sure. Kyle Milliken is your leader with Elevated Motorsports. Kyle has an accrued total of 332 points. He's followed by Justin Diltz and Alan Crowell, both members of Elevated Motorsports, as well as Ryan Chapman in fourth with 274 points. First competitor outside of that team is Ty Bostic. Ty is up there with 241 points, and Dan Withers behind him in sixth position with 230. Mark Sarkozy with Affordable SEO Racing is in seventh. Elliot Swope and Michael Carpenter are respectively 8th and 9th from the iRacing Warrior Motorsports team with 183 and 165. In 10th, you have Luke Bollard with Southern E Motorsports with 157.
And then breaking down the rest of your field, you have Brandon Barrier there with 139 and 12th, Bill Hull in 13th with 131, Evan Amick and Bill Hull in 12th with that. Then Evan Amick in 13th with 97 points. A bunch of Southern New Motorsports guys, Kenneth Bradstock, Zachary Allen, 14th and 15th, 92 and 90 points respectively. And towards the bottom of your point standings, you have Don DeGroot, Thomas Thompson, and Josh Aaron there. But yeah, you said it, Rick. Those Elevated Motorsports drivers, they are sweeping the field. They have been sweeping races. They have been the most dominant team here in the Speed Demon NSRL Grand National Series, and I don't see their reign coming to an end anytime soon.
Well, it certainly, they've put a number up that is a challenge for the other teams to definitely to try to achieve, but we'll see. There is a lot of races here in this season. We are currently, when we look at the past schedule.
Yeah, the past schedule has been pretty interesting. We've gone to a lot of different tracks. We've really been all over the world because we've raced in Japan, we've raced in North Wilkesboro, we've had races going down In Auto Club, you have Five Flags, you have Atlanta, Rockingham, so many different races going on this season. And the Tricky Triangle is just one more of those tracks to add to the difficulty of how difficult this season has been, because no two tracks are alike that we've been to this year. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers handle these cold conditions, these slippery conditions here. Even though the track's not too hot, the Tricky Triangle is going to be very slippery, I expected. But looking right now, with no surprise, you have Kyle Milliken there in P1. Oh, with 98 sliding up the track. Kyle Milliken there in P1 with Justin Diltz in second. You have Ryan Chapman there in third, Alan Quarle there in fourth, and Bill Hull rounding out your top five. And you're riding along with that beautiful number 3 machine of Luke Bullard there, that Budweiser scheme. What an awesome paint scheme. I mean, that just puts me right back to the early 2000s with Dale Earnhardt Jr. But what a nice paint scheme. Maybe he can get a win today, but we'll see what happens. I love it. I love those throwback schemes, especially with that one with a 3 on the side of it. That just brings back good old memories.
So, Grant, this Speed Demons Grand National Series, we're actually going to be off next week, and we'll be back for July 19th for Kentucky Speedway, and then followed by Dover. And then we go to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So there's a lot of interesting tracks coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned if you can. Like and follow the IWM Broadcast Network, and we'll keep you up to date on what is happening with their series and as well as other series that we do broadcast for. So
yeah, it'll be a fun one. I'm very excited to see how the rest of this season goes, because we do have 34 weeks in this race season. This is race 7 out of 34. Obviously, you have some off weeks in there, but this is getting right into the heat of the season. These drivers are going to be trying to get on pit road, as you can see right there with the 98. That plays into my 3 keys to the race. But as you said it, Rick, we have a long way to go. Next week is an off week, but we will be back 2 Tuesdays from now. So if you have nothing going on 2 Tuesdays from now, be prepared to watch these awesome Grand National Series drivers take hold of this series and race around and try to win a championship here for their teams. And it looks like Elevated's pretty strong. I mean, you can't really beat them this season, it seems like, Rick. It just seems like they're always at the top after every race, at the beginning of every race. I mean, at every point of the race. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. They're sweeping the races left and right. And looks like they're about to go gridding. Here we go.
Yep, the competitors are making their ways to the grid. We've got a solid field of 11 drivers, and we'll see how it all shakes out here at Pocono. And Pocono is an interesting track. This is 3 different turns. Every car is different on how it actually runs here, so we'll see how they address this. Again, this league is an open setup, so these setups are usually put together by the teams or individuals, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, it'll be a very interesting race for sure, especially because we do have a smaller field tonight, Rick. It's going to be definitely interesting to see how this big track is going to like a smaller field, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good race, I believe. So looking at this track, you said there's 3 very distinct corners here, really modeled after a couple different tracks. So basically, its shape was designed by Roger Ward and has 3 distinct colors. I said colors. 3 distinct corners, which is going to be modeled after 3 different tracks. So turn 1, if my memory serves me correct, turn 1 is actually modeled after the now closed Trenton Speedway up in New Jersey. So that speedway is closed, but it was modeled after that corner. And corner number 2, very popular corner, Indianapolis there, one of the most popular corners here on this track because it's a very high-speed corner. And then, Rick, I can't remember, what is turn 3 modeled after? Do you remember?
I do not. I do
I don't
not
remember either.
have the history down as well as you do. Obviously, you've got a little bit deeper facts than I do on on Pocono.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the third corner. I want to say it reminds me of like a Milwaukee Mile, or a oh gosh, what's that other track that's similar to Milwaukee? Gosh, I can't think of it, Rick. Just completely passed me. Loudon, New Hampshire, reminds me of something like that. But as we have it right now, these drivers are already wound up to get going here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188 at Pocono, led by yours only, Kyle Milliken. No surprise there. With Bullard there in P2, Ryan Chapman in P3, Justin Diltz in P4, Bill Hull rounding out your top 5, Alan Kroll in 6th. You have what looks like Tom Pera Ty Bostic in 7th. Tom Pera in 8th, David Courier in 9th, Ryan Broderick in 10th, and Dan Withers rounding out your top 11. Rick, looks like pace car is about to drop off.
We are about to go racing.
And we're green in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188, and a very characteristic race, especially on the restarts. You'll see those drivers fan out going into turn 1. Let's see who has the better braking going into turn 1. You can see right now, there's Milliken on the bottom, a bunch of drivers side by side coming out of turn 1. Oh, got Luke Bullard there up in the wall.
Look, he definitely brushed that safer barrier.
Yep, and let me just cover my 3 keys to the race right now. LRS is my first key to the race. That stands for long run strategy. I expect, unless you see a bunch of single car spins, I don't expect you to see many cautions tonight here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 180. Second, preserve your tires. So you're not going to be able to master every corner. So I would hone down a few good corners and make sure you're not overdriving any corner, because you will need to preserve your tires on the long run. And then my third one has something to do with the GPS. So what I mean by GPS is good pit strategy. So make sure, and I expect to see some green flag stops, especially at the end of stage 2, or stage 3 rather, do that 45 lap stint. Make sure to have your GPS on, because if you don't have a good pit road strategy, you may end up at the back of the field tonight. But looking at it right now, Rick, everybody is fanned out. You see right there, multiple drivers battling. You have the 98 of Tom Pera going on the apron, trying to get by the 67 of Dan Withers, who looks to be a little bit damaged on that left rear corner panel already. Some damage for the 67 machine.
Let's try to jump in and. Well, looks pretty clean.
Let's see if we can get to the back of the car. I think it's a little bit wrinkled.
Yeah, there may be some left rear damage on that car for sure.
Yeah, and that's going to affect some of the downforce on the car. Obviously, that bumper is not as high as some of the other bumpers, or spoiler rather, so that's going to affect how the air comes off that. And so you never know. It may help the car, it may hurt the car. But right now we're riding along with Tom Pera all the way back there in P10. Right now he is looking to have a good run tonight. And, this is a long race. They are on lap 3 of 75, but it is a very long race. So make sure to preserve your tires, have a good long run strategy, and make sure to get on pit road. And you may find yourself up in the front. But right now we have a close battle between P1 and P2, Rick. It looks like everybody's kind of under a blanket for, honestly, first through on 5th, and then from 6th on to 8th. You have multiple battles going on. I'm excited to see what's going to happen down here in turn 1. Who's going to make that move to the bottom of the track? Luke Bullard was looking underneath the 19 machine of Justin Diltz, but he did not make that move early on.
Yeah, so here we are. We are in lap 4 of a scheduled 75. This pack of 8 have jumped out to a pretty good gap over the 8th place car of Ryan Broderick.
Here we have a move. Luke Bullard at the bottom.
Tough to make that stick on that turn.
Yeah, it is, because you're sliding around. 19 slides. That's going to give the 3 a chance to get a run going down to the turn 1. One of the longest front stretches in NASCAR is the Pocono front stretch, so you can make moves happen. I mean, you could go probably 10 wide down the front stretch. I wouldn't recommend it, but you probably could. But look at Justin Diltz.
Well, your leader drifted. Kyle Milliken moved up way high.
Yeah, I don't know if he has an issue, but that 10 car is now falling back. He is now under the threat of the 3 car of Luke Bullard there. So very interesting here. I mean, yeah, look at that. 10 is now dropping back a little bit. Very interesting to see what happens with this 10 machine as we have Bostic and Coral there battling off of turn 2.
So definitely a tight battle amongst this front group of drivers.
Nice full crowd here today for the Vent Parts Sim Lab 180. And there goes the 51 of Bill Hull to the bottom of Ryan Chapman. Let's see if that 51 sticks. Looks like the 7's drifting up just a little bit. Probably going to get a nice run off the corner here. We'll see what happens.
He holds
They are
it.
still battling side by side.
Oh.
I think the 7 has a row. Yeah, Dan Withers smacked the wall there.
Yeah, he came off and dirt tracked it around that corner.
Yeah, he did. And looking right now, that 51 was able to get around the 7 machine of Ryan Chapman. So move Bill Hull up to P4 in that number 51 Phoenix Racing Chevrolet. That looks very similar to what Kurt Busch used to drive in the Cup Series, I believe, Rick. So looking for Bill to have a nice run here. But looking at the toe, Ty Bostic up in the wall. So that's what I'm thinking. You know, I knew it was going to be slippery. It definitely looks like it that way tonight. But you see Ty Bostic there in the very famous number 22. And, you know, so you've seen him do that all season long. He's been very strong on corner entry through the apex. And so you kind of saw that right there when he was on the back bumper of the 16 of Broderick in that A.J. Allmendinger scheme. You saw him able to get to the bottom of the track and really just coast through the corner very, very well. I expect turn 2 to be a very good corner for him as long as he doesn't slide up. So we'll see how that 22 performs here on the long run. But Rick, we have a side-by-side battle. Well, it was a side-by-side battle for first and second place, but that number 19 shut the door on Luke Bullard there.
We'll ride along with Luke Bullard through this next lap and just see what Luke sees.
Yeah, you can see that 19 sliding right there. Luke's trying to get a good run off the corner. He slides a little bit. You saw the wheel turn to the right. He's going to have that draft coming off of turn 1 and 2 right there. He looks like he's going to probably top out close to 8,000 RPMs before going into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway corner. Typically, you can see some drivers get all the way down to the apron there and coast it all the way through, but he did not. And he may be setting himself up for a front stretch pass. It looks like that's kind of how he's running this line. But speaking of passing, there goes Bill Hull to the bottom. Maybe. 51 sliding up the track. 51 tagged the wall behind the 3 there. So 51 was in the wall there, Rick. Hopefully his car is not too damaged. But I believe I saw him slide up into the wall out of the number 3 car's mirror. Let's see if he has any right side damage. No, looks all clean to me. It looked like he tagged the wall there to me, Rick. But all good for Bill Hull. But really,
looks like the 3 of Luke Bullard kissed that safer barrier.
There goes the 51 to the bottom going in the turn 2. And let's see if the 51 can complete that pass. He's going to slide up the track. Not going to be able to do it this time. He is going to have the preferred line going into turn 3. Let's see if he can pull off a slide job and move up to P2. Here he goes. He's made that pass. He slid up in front of the 3. And he has completed the pass. Yep, that is what happens. A little bit slippery. So move Bill Hull and the 51 machine up to P2. And right behind there in the 3 car, you have Kyle Milliken, like kind of dodging and weaving, trying to figure out what he wants to do going into turn 1.
So Justin Dilts is your leader in the 19, followed by Bill Hull in the 51, the 3 of Luke Bullard, and the 10 of Kyle Milliken, followed by Ryan Chapman. Those are your top 5 here at Pocono.
So far, we have had 10 green flag laps, something that I was kind of expecting here because of the smaller field. But we have 10 laps in the books, 5 away from the end of stage 1. And Justin Dilts, a front runner we have seen all season long, is up in P1, and a new face that we have not seen up at the front very much. Bill Hull is in P2. So what an awesome run by the 51. They're making strides in that 51 camp. So good to see somebody challenge these elevated motorsports guys.
All right, so right now we've got a minor gap, not much, between the 19 of Dills and the 51 of Hull. This top group is not really pulling too big. I guess the top 8 are within 3 seconds before we get to the number 67 of Dan Withers, who is about 11 seconds behind.
Yeah, I mean, really Oh, Bill Hull slammed that wall coming out of turn 2. I mean, he has major damage on the right side of that, right side of that machine. Well, I stand corrected. I was expecting that car to be a lot more torn up than it is, because it looked like he smacked that wall. Should be fixed down here in the next stage. So we know the 51's fast. He'll be back up there. He is going to drop back a little bit with only 3 laps to go in this stage. As you can see, the number 16 machine of Broderick right now trying to get by him on the inside lane. It looks like we have another pass going for P2. Kyle Milliken is now making his way up, trying to get by the number 3 car of Luke Bullard going in to that Indy turn. Let's see if Milliken's able to pull it off. He is still there.
Yep, Milliken is definitely working his way back up to the front, and he's completed that pass for P2. The 3 continues to look a little loose as he's going through those flat turns.
Yes, he does, and that may be something he needs to fix before this race kind of unfolds, because it's going to be a little bit of mayhem on the longer runs if he's not able to fix it. So as it stands right now, your first 2 drivers, Dilts and Milliken, are both elevated motorsports drivers. So they are making a strong run here with 2 to go in stage 1. We will see what happens here.
While we were following the leader, there was an incident on the track with Tom Perra. We can try to take a look back and see what. We back it up a bit and see what happened with Tom.
He's driving around right there, nice and fine, trying to follow in the draft, trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
Oh, he blew
a motor. Wow. Just blew the motor.
Yeah, that engine detonated right there in the turn.
Wonder if he downshifted on accident, especially at these high rates of speed. If you shift from 4th to 3rd, already at 8,000 RPMs, Rick, your car is not going to be able to handle much, as it looks like he's trying to coast his way back around. I don't think he made it.
No, I think he towed.
He backed out. Yeah, so unfortunate there for Tom Perra. But, the good thing is it does take quite a bit of time to get around this track. So I'm not saying he blew his motor at the best time, but he blew his motor at the best possible time to possibly get back into this race, because you have the end of stage 1 coming up, and then you have multiple stages, or you have the end of stage 2 as well, and you may see a caution or two. So Perra, with that quick repair, may be able to get back into this race. So I would not expect to down him out.
Yeah. So speaking of stages, we are at lap 15. There should be a competition caution at the end of this lap.
You have a heated battle for P1 right now. You have Milliken and Dilts there. Looks like Milliken backed off the corner a little bit, trying to get a run going down. He has a major run. You can see Weapons 19 protects the bottom in a defensive move. Here comes the 10 on the outside. Justin definitely sent it into that corner. We'll see if the 10 has anything off the corner for Justin Diltz. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either.
Justin Diltz will be your winner of Stage 1 here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188.
All right, so your top 10 is, we'll go through that. That'll be your points leaders at this first stage. That's Justin Diltz, Kyle Milliken, Ryan Chapman, Ryan Broderick, Luke Bullard, Bill Hull, Alan Crowell, Dan Withers, David Courier, and Ty Bostic.
A very, solid stage. No incidents. You had that one blown motor by Mr. Para there, but I expect him to hopefully get back on the lead lap. I don't think he may lose 3 or 4. With one more stage break and possibly getting some lucky dogs, you never know. He may be in this, but it looks like up there on their leaderboard, Rick, the 22 of Ty Bostic is now out of this race.
Yeah,
is that correct?
That's what it shows. Don't know if he is. I don't believe he's on pit road. He may be out.
Ty Bostic, the driver that I was trying to pay attention to a little bit earlier because I knew he's had long run speed all season long. Ty Bostic has now made an early retirement here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188. But as it stands, Rick, pretty solid, race. You saw a little bit of slipping and sliding, kind of what I was thinking about was going to happen earlier in the race. But on this 2.5 mile raceway, Rick, it looks like we've had a pretty clean race so far.
So far, you are correct. Of course, with limited competitors, I would expect to see that, and certainly we'll see how it shakes out for the remaining 50 or so laps. So.
Yeah, and that's the key. You got 50 or so laps to pick a winner and to make your move tonight. But also, this is a great points day for all of those drivers who are still looking for points. So you're maybe able to get a solid points day just by kind of staying around and being there at the end of the race. So, for example, Bill Hull, we know he's fast. He had a little bit of an unfortunate situation there coming out of one of the corners, tagged the wall, but we know he's fast. He has that quick repair in his
Oh no,
pocket.
I don't think we have any quick repairs here.
No quick repairs. Quick repairs. So never mind. So I take that back, and I also take that back away from Tom Para, because if there's no quick repairs, then there is no chance of saving that motor. Anyways, the leaders on down pit road. It's very long pit road here at Pocono, led by your leader Justin Diltz out of Elevated Motorsports. We'll see what he can do there, see if he can take the lead coming off of pit road. This pit road is just very long. They are going 55 miles an hour, but it's one of the longest pit roads in NASCAR.
I would expect all of them to take 4 tires and fuel here, so we should see pit stops in the 14 to 15 second range for all of these drivers.
You may see the 3 beat the 10 off of pit road here. They're very close. We'll see what happens. No, not quite, but look at the 16. What a jump there by the 16 machine. He is up, I think, a couple spots on that pit stop right there, so awesome job for that number 16 Action Camaro pit crew. What a nice job.
Ryan Broderick was able to pull off a 14.63 pit stop, besting your leader by nearly 3/10. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's a big number. That was the fastest pit stop of that stop. So Ty Bostic may have had some connection issues. That I do show that Ty is on pit road, so that may have been the case. There's a number of storms in the area that these drivers are having to deal with. Not so much representative on the track, but in Real life.
In real life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nashville hasn't really had much of that. We've just had some hot weather, so we would like some rain to come down here in Nashville, Tennessee, because that's where I am, and then Rick, you're over there in the Carolinas, so obviously you're going to get some rain right now. But well, hopefully it'll pass by and nothing shakes up any connections. But as we have it right now, we are going to go green flag racing again. Now, keep in mind, stage 2 ends on lap 30, Rick. So that means this is going to be a 10-lap shootout to the end of stage 2. And then we're going to have a 45-lap run, which is going to be by far the longest run of the night, unless we have some cautions, Rick. Right now, you have Justin Dilts there on the high side, and that number 19 Camaro, followed by the 16 on the bottom side. You see Justin take the high side, which I think is a nice move. And then behind him, you have Kyle Milliken. You have, that's Broderick, rather. You have Broderick there, and then you have Milliken, Chapman, Bullard, Courier, Withers, Kroll, and then Hull is making his way from the back of the field up to the front after tagging the wall there. So on this tricky triangle, Rick, these cold tires, I don't want to predict a spin, but I feel like you may see some fishtailing coming around some of these corners here on the next couple laps.
It certainly is possible. Again, fresh tires, a short stage. That tells me that there's a good possibility for some opportunity takers amongst this field of drivers.
Yep, high risk, high reward. That's what I'm going to call it, because that's what you're going to have. You're going to have a lot of the drivers that are just trying to say, hey, there's only 10 laps. Tires do mean something here. We have 6 of them, so why not use them up this time to get some track position? So right now we're riding on board with Kyle Milliken. Pace car is about to drop off, and that control car has to enter the restart zone. The 19 up in the high side. We'll see what happens here, as we should be going green as soon as that driver's off, and he is off. That is an orchestrated restart if I've ever seen one, Rick, between the 10 and the 19.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So the 10 was able to clear first and second place. Now he's going to challenge his opponent. Oh, he's sideways, Rick. There we sent it a little too hard there into turn 1. Definitely what I was thinking. You're going to see some sliding going on. And we saw that out of Milliken.
Ooh.
And the 16 is all over the track trying to get around that 10.
That's the 16 of Ryan Broderick, and he is trying to take P2 back.
Whoa! 10 seems to be on rails. Maybe some slippery rails, but do we have an issue out of the 19 machine? 19 is dropping back and dropping back fast.
A little bit there. Must be that match set of tires they put on the 10.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on with the 19. But your new leader here tonight started in P1. Kyle Milliken is back out front in the Speed Demon NSRL Grand National Series. Brought to you by Speed Demon Setups. Brought to you also by York Realty, one of the newest sponsors of this Grand National Series. Elevated Outdoors, affordable SEO and marketing, as well as Butt Kicker. So looking on board right now, you see a pass right now. There is the number 19 of Dilts. He thought about it. He back down. That was the number 19 of Dilts trying to get around the number 16 there of Broderick, and he wasn't able to complete the pass.
Well, you can see back a little further back in the field, the 3 of Luke Bullard. He is definitely trying to aggressively march his way back up to the front. Back amongst our leaders, they put up some impressive times. That was a 54.93 for Kyle Milliken that last lap by. That is the fastest time.
Yes, it is, and that's getting very close to his qualifying time of a 54.696, Rick. So Kyle Milliken putting up qual times here in the Grand National Series, and it's what you got to do to win. It's a very competitive series, and I expect to see a little bit more of that as they are now making their way down into turn 3. You see a battle going on for P2, though.
It's Ryan Broderick and Justin Dilts.
You can see the 10 car there running more along the bottom line. His teammate running a little bit of a higher line, and the 16 following right in 10's tire tracks. And don't look back now, you have Ryan Chapman there trying to join the conversation. Still another elevated motorsports driver, Rick. So right now they are running 1, 3, and 4. So we'll see how these drivers play out tonight. You see the cars getting a little bit sideways there as we are now coming to 6 to go to the end of this stage.
So you're riding on board with Justin Dilts, currently in P3. There's a lot of changing of lanes and positions here. Interesting, Justin Dilts was out of the throttle. And
we have a caution on the track.
Looks like Dan Withers may have crashed. A caution is out. Let's try to see what happened with Dan.
Whoa!
There was contact with the 9.
Wow. Don't really know what happened there. I mean, that definitely looked like the 9 may have sent it a little bit too hard into I believe that is turn 3 rather. So Bill Hull got a good picture of this. He was right there. Let's look and see exactly what happened here on this incident between the 9 and the 67 machine. So here they are coming off turn 2. You can see the 9's already sideways right there, and just collects the 67. And a product of getting sideways in these cars is sometimes you can be sent up the track, and that's exactly what happened between the 67 and the 9 machine.
Well, it looks like the 67 was actually in the wall a little bit.
Yeah, he was. I don't think that really influenced this incident, though.
No. Trying to watch the seam here. The 9 is on the seam. He begins to go down. Yeah, it looks like I think just the 67 may have kind of misjudged his space. I think he just came down into the 9.
I'm kind of thinking the other. I'm thinking they both kind of the 9 looked like he was sliding into the corner quite a bit and lost some grip. That's kind of why I think he.
One more
because
time.
that's a normal corner entry there, because you're going to pretty much go to the bottom lane.
Fair. Yeah.
You know, you're not really going to run that upper to middle groove. You can see the darker spot in the track. So the natural line would be what I think the 67 and the 9 was trying to do. But it looks like that 9 may have gotten a little bit loose coming out of the rear. So this is going to put us under caution for the first time tonight outside of a stage break. And it looks like we're going to have 5 laps to go until the end of stage 2. So right now...
Yeah, there are a number of takers on pit road. Just to interrupt briefly, you got Bill Hull, Justin Dilts, David Courier, Alan Crowell, Luke Bullard, all came down that caution and took what appears to be fresh tires.
You know, I think it's a good move, Rick, because think about this. I say you have those sets of tires. We have a limited field. I'd take a chance on there not being many cautions tonight. I would want to come down and get some fresh set of tires, because what that's going to do is that's going to put you at advantage over all of these other drivers that did not pit. Even though we only have about 5 to 6 laps on these set of tires, 5 to 6 laps at Pocono is unlike any other track, because your tires are going to wear completely different in every single corner. So I kind of like the move to come down pit road and get some tires.
So your leader, Kyle Milliken, Ryan Broderick, and Ryan Chapman all stayed out and did not come down to pit road. So 1, 2, and 3 will be on 17, almost 10 lap old tires. They came in at lap 17, and the balance will be on fresh rubber.
Yes, it will, and it's going to be a mad dash to the finish, and that's what I think those guys that came down pit road are trying to achieve. They are trying to get every ounce of position they can, because that's definitely going to matter going into the long run of Stage 3, which is going to be 45 laps long. That's going to be a long stage, Rick, and so I expect to see a lot of dicey moves, especially coming off of Turn 3, once they go green. But also, let's keep in mind, you also have the 10 and the 7 who are teammates on the bottom line. So you know it's probably going to be pretty orchestrated there between those two drivers, where the 16 and the 51 are not teammates. So we'll see exactly what happens here on the restart.
So
but Rick, I expect
ride
to see
along.
A good start.
Yeah, we'll ride along with the 7 of Ryan Chapman on the restart. So Kyle Milliken had lane choice. He chose the bottom. Which is a little bit different than the last restart.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a little bit odd, but you know, it's not completely blowing me away yet. But you know, we'll see exactly how this fans out for that number 10 on the bottom. I think he has his teammate right where he wants him, so I expect to see a good jump there by the 10 and the 7. So we'll see. Pace car's off.
Geico restart zone.
They're there, and now they're off. And let's just say there is no outside lane. The outside lane is basically non-existent because you have elevated on the bottom lane, and there they go.
We saw briefly Dan Withers coming out of the pits. I think he's going to see how fast he can go with that damaged race car. See if he can make some minimum speeds here.
To the high side is the number, I believe that's the number 16 of Broderick trying to pass Diltz, one of the hardest passes to make. And they're going to drive side by side coming off of turn 2. See what happens as they go into turn 3. But as this is happening, Rick, Kyle Milliken is checking out from his teammate in second. They are now, 19 slid up a little bit. 16, I think, is going to be able to make the pass and move the 16 of Broderick into P3.
There's a lot of action here on the track. Going a little further back, you got Luke Bullard, who just made this pass on Bill Hull of the 51. Kristen Diltz is currently in 4th position. Ryan Broderick is there with the 16. He is in P3. Just ahead of him is Ryan Chapman in P2, following your leader, Kyle Milliken.
Gotcha. So according to Donna, Ty lost internet connection because of the storm. So unfortunate there for Ty.
That explains it. There is again a pretty strong cell of thunderstorms that's rolling through the southeast right now, and we're hoping that the IWM broadcast station here will stay up and continue to broadcast through the inclement weather.
Yeah, I think the guy who has control over this broadcast is a pretty darn good connection, if I say so myself. So we'll see what happens here as this race goes on. But right now it looks like the 16 has passed. Ryan Chapman for P2. He has his eyes set on the 10, and he is closing, Rick. Broderick is closing very, very fast on the 10 machine. He has cut it down to 0.4 of a second already. So kind of looking like, A.J. Allmendinger out there, I would say, in that number 16. He is trying to get a stage win and take it away from these elevated motorsports drivers. Coming to 1 to go in stage 2. Milliken is your leader, followed by Broderick, Chapman, and Diltz and Bullard.
Well, as you may have saw in that brief clip, you saw Kyle Milliken move all the way down to the bottom on the front stretch and then all the way back up to the top. That was a planned maneuver. He is trying to avoid giving Ryan Broderick a chance to slip into his draft and gain time.
He's about 4/10 off. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch it. He's going to have a really nice turn, too, and he does. He's dropped it down to 0.3 of a second, Rick. I don't know if he's going to have enough run coming out of turn 3, but he's going to try to make a fight on this number 10 machine for stage 2. He sends it into the corner. Here comes the 10. Here comes the 16. And your winner of stage 2 is going to be Kyle Milliken out of Elevated Motorsports.
All right, that's the end of stage 2. That's 31 laps completed here in Pocono for the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188. This is the Speed Demon NSRL Grand National Series. Just to reintroduce ourselves, my name is Rick Souza. I'm here with John DeRudris. We're with the IWM Broadcast League, and we're glad that you could join us.
Yeah, if you're looking along and watching along, and you enjoy what you're watching, if you like what we've been able to do tonight, we'd love for you to join the IWM Broadcast Network community and give us a subscribe and a follow, because we would love to get those numbers up so we can grow this community of racing enthusiasts, especially on iRacing, and plus, YouTube. It helps us with YouTube, so we can get shown to more people. So give us a like and subscribe and a follow, all those fun things. And let's see, we have a shout out already from King City on YouTube. My guy Chapman, let's work. Number 7. Yeah, your driver Chapman has been doing a nice job staying at the front this entire time. He did get passed by Broderick, but I think Chapman, as of late, he's had a pretty good long-run car. If you remember, Rick, on 5 Flags, he was almost able to get around Kyle Milliken there in a very fun, eventful 5 Flag Speedway race. So, yeah, King City, I expect that number 7 to get to work here on Stage 3. But speaking on Stage 3, Rick, we are about to see these drivers come down pit road. They're probably going to get about another 2 laps on this run, and then you're probably going to see the green flag going on 35 to 36. So that is going to be a 40-lap run. They got to come down pit road under green, right?
Absolutely. I would expect it as well. So if you are watching along with us, we hope you stay tuned. We certainly are experiencing some interesting weather here in the broadcast. So bear with us, and we hope to keep our feed up through this. And if not, we'll restart it if we do lose connection. We just got pummeled here, John, with a few storms and some thunder. So we'll see.
Well, let's hope it stays up. Gotta get this race in and get this league going right now. So thank you everybody for liking this video. Saw we have nice 5 likes on this, so fantastic, as we now have these drivers coming down pit road for the second scheduled stop tonight, out of probably 3 stops, I would imagine. There is a 10 car of Kyle Milliken, followed by Broderick, Chapman, Diltz, Bullard, Cornwell there, and Courier down pit road. So we will see who is the best on pit road. That number 16 crew last time had the fastest pit stop, so I would expect to see them again here having one of the fastest on the track.
Yeah, that was a 43, I think, last time that Ryan Broderick came out. He is out again quick. Based on that number, that's a 14:52. That bests his last pit stop.
Yeah, so that 16 crew, they know what they're doing over the pit wall, able to get that 16 in and out. Obviously, it did not help him on position, but I think that's going to play a major role once they have some green flag stops, Rick. I think that'll be very essential down the road, literally down the road, in this race once they have to make some GPSs, some good pit stops, especially under green. So we'll see what happens as we are approaching 34 of 75 under caution.
Absolutely. So looking good for Kyle Milliken, back currently in that lead position. He had a good pit stop of 14.92. Just keeping an eye on our current radar here, so hopefully this storm will pass through here in the next 30 minutes, and we won't have to worry about that for the rest of the race. So,
yeah, we can hope. Let's hope for it.
Yep. So it looks like Kyle Milliken has chosen to again stay in that that inside line on the restart.
And you know that's going to be the preferred line, because I think you were going to hit on it. He's got his teammate behind him.
He does. Outside is Ryan Broderick, and behind the 16 in fourth position is the 19 of Justin Diltz. Ryan Broderick is it's kind of in an elevated motorsports sandwich there.
Yeah, he is. But he's been the only driver that has been able to break up this this elevated motorsports romance up here, because they've been very strong 1, 2, and 3 this entire 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on where they are in position. But yeah, looking there, you can see the manufacturers. The only Ford in the field is Bill Courier. My bad, not Bill Courier. Courier there, David Courier in P7. Yeah, it's a Chevy heavy field tonight, but you never know what you may see. You may see Courier get his car dialed in a little bit later in the run. But Rick, it looks like we are about to go green flag racing here for stage 3. We are going to have exactly 40 laps to go in this race, which is going to be it's going to be an exciting one to the end, because you know what that means: green flag pit stops. So green flag pit stops, you know what that means: cold tires, and that means getting on and getting off pit road efficiently. So Milliken is your control car on the bottom. Once he enters the Geico restart zone, he will be able to launch off and start this race. And there they are. And the odd man out was Justin Diltz. He really had no choice because he was stuck behind the 19.
He was certainly sandwiched back in there and had no choice. 19 is on the high side of the number 16 car of Ryan Broderick. They're back nose to tail now with Luke Bullard behind and currently in 5th, and Alan Crowell is in 6th.
See the 16 drop down to the bottom of the 7 going into that second corner. We'll see if that sticks.
Oh,
and
fresh
16
tires.
Sideways.
Fresh tires bit him.
Yes, it did, and that is the fear you have, and that is what I was saying on fresh tires. You will be sliding around tonight, which is what you saw there out of that number 16 machine. Oh, 19's now loose.
'19 is making a move on the number 16 of Ryan Broderick. Again, the 16 is a little bit loose, trying to get that line.
Now here comes the 19 to the inside of the 16. We'll see if that 19 can make the pass. He does have the preferred lane. We will see. 16's kind of shuts the door.
Up. Contact. Oh!
Nice save. Wow, what awesome racing out of those three drivers right there. That was, we got to see a replay of that, Rick. I want to go back and take a look at that one. That was some phenomenal driving there by all, really, I'm going to throw Luke Bullard into that too. Oh, well, and on cue, he hits the wall. You can see them right there. They both get sideways. I think it may have gotten the 16 a little bit aero loose due to the 19 getting loose. But Rick, this was amazing saves out of both of these drivers. You can see they're both sideways right there. 19 taps them. There comes the 3 into this. Nice job avoiding, but nice job of the 16 not going into the wall and not coming back down and getting into the 19 car, Rick. That was Class A driving by Ryan or by Broderick right there with Justin Diltz as well. They're able to keep going. What an amazing move. I mean, obviously they got into each other, but Rick, I can't explain what we just saw. That was phenomenal racing.
It sure was. I mean, you would expect typically what happens and what we've seen in the past. These drivers, excluded from the conversation, is it's very easy to overcompensate as you're trying to counter steer through those corners, and unfortunately that tends to bite uh, those drivers, but these drivers held it under control, got their cars pointed back in the right direction, and they lived to fight another lap.
Yes, that did, and I just got word, Rick. We have a birthday boy here in the race. And that birthday boy is now leading the race. Ryan Chapman, it's his birthday today. He just took the lead away from Kyle Milliken, and this is from his mom. So mom says today is Ryan Chapman's birthday. Go for the win, Ryan. Love, Mom. So you got Mom watching you there. You got King City there watching it as well, Ryan. So let's see if he can pull off the win here tonight for that 7 team and for everybody watching on the broadcast. So happy birthday, Ryan. Let's see if you can pull it off.
All right. Congratulations, Ryan. We may have that pass. We'll go back and take a look.
It looked pretty easy, Rick. I didn't really see much challenge there out of the 10. The 10 just seemed to go high and just more or less let
Ryan
the 7 on by.
It drove the line. He stayed down there. Drove right through.
Yeah, it looked very methodical. And, yeah, he took the lead away from his Elevated Motorsports teammate of Kyle Chapman. Oh, wow. Kyle Milliken there. I was combining the two drivers together. They might as well be combined together of how well they've ran this season. But right now, don't look too far back. That 16 car is on the move again. Ryan Broderick has entered the chat, and now it looks like the 10 machine is going to the bottom side of Chapman. I think he was like, hey, buddy, I'll let you lead a couple because it's your birthday. But no more than that. Oh, here comes the 16. Really into the conversation. They are all loose. 16 is going to slide up in front of the 7 car coming off of turn 1. Yeah, 4 cars under a blanket, Rick. Everybody's blocking everybody. You have a lot of great racing going on right now between these 4 drivers. Here goes the 16 to the inside, not going to make the pass. But you see some drivers slipping and sliding right there.
A tight battle up here at the front between Kyle Milliken, Ryan Broderick, Ryan Chapman, and Justin Diltz, for that matter. These top 4 cars are battling pole position.
You know what I like, Rick? That 16 machine, he was able to go through turn 3 with, it looks like butter. I mean, he is able to slice the corner, get right to the apex, and get into the gas faster than anybody's able to do. That car is able to turn so much better. He just sent it into turn 1. He just completed the pass, Rick. That 16 car just absolutely went into that corner sideways and took the lead away from Kyle Milliken.
We'll watch him go through turn 2. He is down at the apex. Great way to drive that corner. Let's go back for that. See if we have a replay on that pass.
What a pass. I mean, look at this. He's right there on the tire tracks. He does not lift. He just sends that thing sideways and able to just complete it and slide in front of the 10. Like, see ya, buddy. I'm gone. So new leader here tonight is Ryan Broderick there. He is driving that number 16 machine. Looks very familiar to AJ Allmendinger's nationwide. Wow, nationwide. Well, I'm throwing it back there. Xfinity scheme there in the number 16. So we'll see how this plays out. He definitely slid his tires, though, Rick. That's the one big thing that I saw. His tires have to be just hot.
Well, and I feel the same way about the 19 of Diltz. Those guys were involved in that earlier incident.
Ooh.
Definitely going to flat spot those tires, even just as they begin to slide through those corners. It will not only increase the temperature, but the wear on those tires.
Yeah, well, that 16 is just like, it's like he's on ice now. It's just like he turns almost too well, which is an issue, obviously, because if you turn too well, then you're going to be sideways. So we'll see what happens as he goes down into turn 1 this time. He's able to carry a lot of momentum into turn 1. You can see him, I can see him sideways. Right now, I'm watching his head-on shot on another monitor, and he is, I mean, I don't want to say dirt tracking it around, but that back into that car is very loose. So we'll see how long he can keep this up, because don't look too far back. Kyle Milliken, his comeback into his picture. You see he has a good turn 2 right there, able to hold it nice and steady. I'd love to see what he does in turn 3, though. Turn 3 is where I think he carries the most speed and the most momentum.
Well, he's got a lot of counter steering going on.
I mean, he is just sending it into the corners. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it, Rick. He is not really, I mean, he's lifting, but he's not really lifting at all. But he is just tackling these corners with
aggression,
ferocious. Yeah, I mean, with ferocious intent. I mean, look at that right there. I mean, he is. I mean, I'm surprised that car is able to stick the way he's driving it into these corners. I mean, he can't do this for all race.
You can hear him back on the gas really quickly through the apex of that turn. This should be a very interesting corner again here at 2.
Yeah, 2 seems to be his most methodical corner. It doesn't seem to get too out of shape, but turn 1 and turn 3 just seem to be, I mean, he just seems to just slide. I mean, he's just washing up right there, obviously, and that's where the 10 and the 51 now, or maybe the 10 and the 7 have come back, and the 10 has a huge run, Rick. I think they're going to be side by side going into turn 1.
I think they are too. Kyle Milliken, oh.
Ooh, 16 just shut the door on him.
Okay.
Yeah, the 16 is good in turn 1 and in turn 2, but in turn 3, I'm going to give that corner now back to Kyle Milliken. Kyle Milliken seems to be the best driver there, and you can just see how, I mean, you could even call it yawed out if you really want to consider it. You can see how yawed out the rear end of that number 16 car is compared to everybody else. He just seems to be really fighting that wheel, but somehow he's able to keep the car turning. But right there you can see he just doesn't have the same kind of momentum as the 16, or my bad, the 10 does off the corner, and this is where they're going to go side by side, Rick.
Well, we've got a great vantage point from the in-car camera from Ryan Chapman's number 7.
Let's see if 10 tries to pull a crossover. Good driving there by the 16, anticipating that crossover from the 10. Did not give up his bottom line. What a nice move. 10 goes back to the top side going into turn 2. 16 shuts the door. Drives it hard into turn 2. Sliding back up the track. Here we go into turn 3. One of these corners, Rick, that 10 car is going to get this 16. Because that 10 car is able to, hold it down much better. That time, the 16 was able to have a solid corner coming off. So we'll see how this plays out. But as we were talking, Rick, we have green flag pit stops. They are going to come at some point in time, because we are on lap 47 out of the scheduled 75, which means we are under 30 to go here in the Bent Part Sim Lab 188. So you're going to see some pit stops here. My guess in the next 10 laps, I would estimate that you would see some stops coming along. So we'll see who's going to be the first taker, because these tires are just screaming right now. It does look like we have a disconnection. Bill Hull has retired from the race. So unfortunate there for the 51 machine, but Bill Hull has retired.
Well, it certainly happens here. So we are at lap 47, about to be 48 here in Pocono. These leaders, well, this entire field, the last pitted on lap 32. That puts us 16 laps in. I am not aware of the fuel situation and how much fuel will take them to the next green flag stop.
With my calculation, with a 2.5 mile track, very similar to almost a Talladega-like distance, typically on a full tank of gas at Talladega, you can go roughly about 35 to 40 laps. Obviously, I don't think they are running full fuel tanks tonight, So that means it's only going to be shorter. So I'm expecting a 20-25 lap stint out of this fuel run. Wow, very interesting corner there by all three of those drivers, all acting very differently coming off of turn 3. So right now, with a couple caution laps, Rick, I think they are going on lap 14 of their fuel run because, yes, they did come in on lap 32, 33, but you got to remember, caution laps, you barely use any fuel compared to any other lap. So with that being said, I think they're about going on 15 laps, I would say, on this tank, which means pit stops are coming between lap 54 and lap 59, which they should be able to get to the end of the race by then, is my guess. You may see some drivers try to extend this out as long as they can, obviously, but we will see. But in our estimates, I think 54 to 59 is a strong guesstimate on how much fuel these drivers will have and when they need to come down pit road.
All right, we are almost 2/3 of the way done with this event, this Bent Park Sim Labs 188 here at Pocono Speedway as part of the Speed Demon NSRL Grand National Series. Your leader is Ryan Broderick in the 16, followed by Kyle Milliken in the 10 and Ryan Chapman in the 7.
Yeah, it's kind of coming down to it here, Rick. 26 to go. Right there you have Ryan Broderick of Ryan Broderick Racing. He is your leader, leading the dominant drivers of this entire season. Kyle Milliken, Ryan Chapman, I believe both previous winners. Obviously, Kyle Milliken has won out of Waterford, Michigan there, Elevated Motorsports. But this is going to be very interesting to see if these Elevated Motorsports drivers, especially maybe even Ryan Chapman, is able to sneak a win in here and get by the 16. But the 16 looks to be the strongest car. There's Ryan Chapman there in P3. Take a look on back in P4. You have the number 19 of Justin Diltz out of Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. Alan Kroll there, another Elevated Motorsports driver, running there in P5. And then Luke Bullard there in that very famous was Dale Earnhardt Jr. paint scheme. He is running a 3-car, so kind of mixing the senior and junior there out of Southern E Motorsports. Looking for Bullard to have a nice run here tonight. In P7, you do have Ty Bostic. So Ty Bostic has made his way back onto the track after having some connection issues. It's always good to see him running up there. Another Southern E Motorsports driver, I believe. They're in that 22 machine. So out of Rockingham, North Carolina. So good to see him running strong back on the track. We have a pass, Rick, for the lead. Milliken has passed him, as well as Chapman is going down to the inside line. So as we were running through your field here tonight, we had a pass for the lead, and Broderick shut the door on the 7.
Let's go back and focus on
coming out of turn 3. I knew it was going to happen. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when for that number 10. Oh, and you see both of those drivers get loose. Here comes the 16 back. Oh, a little bit more loose. Pass isn't completed yet, and there it is right there. So looking back now, your new leader here tonight, Kyle Milliken, is doing what he's done all season, Rick. He is checking out.
He's got a little bit of a lap car in front of him. I believe that's the 67 of Dan Withers, who's on track, I think, making his way around. Or is that? We'll see who's in front of Kyle Milliken. I know it's lap traffic somewhere.
Yep, that is Dan Withers in the 67 machine. He is 5 laps down running in P11. But, you know, every point counts. So he is able to get some points after having an early incident here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 180. So good to see him running around. But right now, you have Kyle Milliken, your leader, doing what Kyle Milliken does. He's been able to run very solid lap times. He's in the 55.8s. Ryan Broderick is his 56.2s, and so is Ryan Chapman in the 56.2. So right now, Kyle Milliken is your race leader, going on 22 laps to go. So, Rick, I expect to see some green flag stops for these drivers anytime now.
Ryan Chapman is up along the side of the 16 trying to make a pass here for P2.
Yeah, it's the Ryan and Ryan show right now between the 16 and the 7. And don't look too far back. You have Justin Diltz now entering the conversation, trying to get maybe a 2-for-1 deal going on. Yeah, he has to pass his teammate, but also has to pass the 16, who, note, all the way up from the 10th position. So what a run by Ryan Broderick tonight, able to make his way up all the way from the back of the field. Second to last car to start the field tonight. He's able to make his way up to P3 or P2 right now.
Yeah, 8 spots for Ryan Broderick. So
there's
as
Dan
Withers, Dan Withers is letting those leaders battle, and here's that move by the 7 car.
He is going to have the preferred line going into turn 1. We'll see if he slides up at all, and he backs off. Interesting corner there by the 7 machine. Kind of giving the 16 some room to go down to the bottom. Maybe gives another chance coming out of the corner. We'll see if the 7 tries to dive low going into turn 2. But he is on his bumper. Kind of looks like he's bump drafting from our vantage point. But he is not. He is just very, very close to the rear end of that number 10, or that number 16 car.
Great shot from the nose camera of Ryan Chapman.
Ryan Chapman is now up on the outside of the 16 machine, trying to make the pass because the 16 machine is down pit road. Our first taker tonight is Ryan Broderick, right in the window that I thought in between 54 and 59. He is coming in on lap 56 for fresh tires and a nice tank of Sunoco gas. So you know what this means. He's the first taker. Every lap that these leaders stay out after the number 16 is just time lost. Right now, Kyle Milliken's last lap was a 56.4. I'd be surprised if I didn't see Milliken. Would expect him to not want to lose more time than he already is, just being around. So right now, 16 is off and away, and the 10 car looks like he's going to make his way down pit road. He is not. 10 car is staying out. So is your second and third place drivers of Ryan Chapman and Justin Diltz. So the only driver to come down pit road has been the number 16 machine. What I want to pay attention to, though, is what's happening in the lap times. The last time around, Kyle Milliken ran a 56.1. I'm going to look on back and see exactly what lap time Ryan Broderick was able to run. So here he is coming to the line. First lap after he was on the caution, he was able to run. He's coming around, turn 3 as we speak.
Yeah, he'll probably need one more time around. Oh, he's dirt tracking through there.
Yeah, that's not going to be friendly on those tires. Probably going to be a 55. No, 129, a 129 is going to be needing one more lap to come around. So right now, Ryan Broderick is all the way back. First car a lap down, or first car on the lead lap, but that means everybody else has to come down pit road. So right now, Kyle Milliken is still your leader. He just ran a 56.5. I'd imagine he has to come down pit road sometime, Rick. He's just going to lose time to Broderick, who's on fresher tires.
Yeah, with 18 laps to go, running out of time to that car, which, I'm not really sure just how the fall-off will be, but we'll have to figure it out.
Well, qualifying times are in the 54.6s and the 54.7s, and Kyle Milliken last time I was a 56.5. So that is almost 2 seconds of fall off on a full run there, Rick. Milliken.
So would you time that pit stop with your teammates?
I think you should. I think you pit as a team. Here comes the 10 car on cue. So this is going to be a race for the lead. I think you do come down with your teammates. It looks like Milliken, Diltz, and looks like Ryan Chapman definitely did not pit with his teammates. So Ryan Chapman is now your leader. But Ryan Broderick is the first car to come down pit road. So he will be the leader once these drivers are off. This is the battle right now. Ryan Broderick is making his way into turn 3 as we speak. So this is going to be the battle for the lead as they come out of pit road. Oh, Rick, this is going to be good. Here comes the 16 coming out of turn 3 right now. left sides are going up on the 10 car. He is the exit of pit road. Here comes the 10. Here comes the 16. 10 is going to be right there as the 16 enters turn 1. And there goes the 16 right on by.
That was a 14.68 pit stop for the 10 car of Kyle Milliken. You now have Ryan Chapman coming down pit road, as well as Alan Crowell. Got the 3 car of Luke Bullard. That was the 03 of David Courier just leaving pit road.
Yep, here comes the number 9 machine, I believe, and there comes the number 3 down pit road. Oh, 3 locked it up. Yep, that's going to cost him big time. Unfortunate there for that driver of Ryan Broderick. He's going to tag the wall too. He's going to lose a bunch of positions. And there goes Chapman. There goes Kroll. And they were not able to get in front of that 16. So as this all cycles out, Rick, I believe that your leader will be Ryan Broderick in the 16 machine being chased by Kyle Milliken.
So we got Ty Bostic. He is still on previous pit strategy. He has not gone back in. I thought he may be a lap or so down, but
yeah, Ty Bostic's last lap, Rick, was a 57.6. So he is definitely not going to be performing as well. But your leader, which paying attention to right now in this gap is closing, is between Ryan Broderick and Kyle Milliken. They are now both P2 and P3, but they will be effectively P1 and P2 after Ty Bostic makes his way down pit road. But Rick, let's talk about this. You know, differentiating pitch strategies there definitely worked out for Broderick on the short term, but is Broderick going to have enough tires to be able to fend off the number 10 machine?
well, he's only Ty Bostic is now on pit road. You know, Ryan Broderick pitted on lap 55, Kyle Milliken 58. Does those 3 laps matter? Maybe. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it all shakes out. There are only 14 laps left here at Pocono.
And here comes the 10 to the outside of the 16, battling them through the front stretch. We'll see who gets the better run. We know the 16 likes to send it going into turn 1. He does, in fact, send it going into turn 1. He is going to try to hold that bottom line, but the 10's going to have the run off the corner. Oh, no!
That was close.
16 tagged the 10 in the rear, trying to get off of him, but he was not able to. But they kept it all straight. But lo and behold, you know who's out front, Rick? Good old Kyle Milliken. Seems like we see him out front every single race. Kyle Milliken is now your new leader here in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188.
Well, Kyle now has a significant gap. That little incident with the minor contact and slide has actually helped him move out to nearly a 2-second gap between the second place of Ryan Broderick. Third place is Justin Diltz, and fourth place is Ryan Chapman.
So just looking back at some lap times, Rick, we have some interesting data showing up. So last time around, Kyle Milliken, 55.1. Ryan Broderick, 57.2. Justin Diltz, 55.5. Ryan Chapman, 55.6. And let's run through some of this field. Yeah, we have a lot of different drivers with a lot of different lap times. For Rick, that 10 machine looks like he is on rails. He's doing what he does best. Looking on board now, we have Dan Withers right there running in P11, 5 laps down. Shout out to him for staying out here on this limited field tonight, still trying to get some points out of it. You never know what's going to happen. You may have the entire field wrecked with 5 to go, and Dan Withers win the race. Who knows? Probably won't happen like that. But Kyle Milliken out of Waterford, Michigan, doing an awesome job again, as usual. followed by Ryan Broderick there in P2. Last time by, Kyle Milliken 55.3, Ryan Broderick 55.8. So that difference there is going to play a major role in how this race is decided, because Ryan Broderick is now 2.5 seconds and growing seconds behind the 10 machine.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to our IWM broadcast of the Speed Demon NSRL Grand National Series here at Pocono. To recap a bit, you've got Kyle Milliken as your leader, followed by Ryan Broderick, Justin Diltz, Ryan Chapman in 4th, Alan Crowell in 5th, Ty Bostic is in 6th, 7th is Luke Bullard, 8th is David Courier, 9th is Dan Withers, and 10th is Tom Pira. 11th is Bill Hull. Those gentlemen have retired this evening. There was some earlier incidents on track. Looking at Ryan Broderick, he is in P2. He's approximately 3 to 4 seconds behind your leader, Kyle Milliken.
Yeah, Rick, as we are coming to 10 to go this time by, Milliken looks to be the best driver on the track, pulling away to over a 3.1, now a 3 point. My bad, take that back. Now a 4-second lead updated on there on this top of the charts. So what a run by Kyle Milliken. But also let me give a shout out to Ryan Broderick coming all the way from, whoa, Kyle Milliken is sideways, coming out of P1. Not P1, turn 1. He is in P1. So that's going to definitely flat spot his tires. So Broderick may have a little bit closer of a gap. Close it down to 3 seconds. So we'll see what's happening now with this 10 car. This race may not be over yet. But shout out to Ryan coming all the way from P10.
Yeah, great driving with that 16 car of Ryan Broderick. He has moved up to P2, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, 10 laps to go here at Pocono. Anything can happen, especially on this long racetrack.
Yeah, the lead is now down to about 3.5 seconds, but still, even with that little bit of a slide out of the 10 machine, he is still holding that lead there. Probably going to gain quite a bit here on this leader. But looking back, that's the closest battle right now is between Broderick and Diltz. So we're going to look on back with Diltz. He is less than a second behind that number 16 machine, looking to get up into P2. He's already on the podium spot, but looking to get to P2 a little bit closer to his teammate.
So again, like John said, you were on board with the 19 of Justin Diltz. It looks like he's made up a good bit of time there.
Yeah, that 16 just looks to be sliding all over the track. With 8 laps to go, you're seeing the effects of hitting a couple laps early, Rick. Just looking on by last lap time, Kyle Milliken, 55.5. Then you have Ryan Broderick there, 56.1. Justin Diltz, 55.8. So this pass is coming. I'm going to say it again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That's the second time I've said that tonight, and because it's probably going to happen sometime soon between the 16 and the 19. But we'll see as the number 10 machine is making his way into turn 3. It's going to be coming to 7 to go here tonight. Not many cautions, so my prediction came true, Rick. Wow, looks like I'm right for once when it comes to these races. But looks like a very caution-free race, only one accident on the track, and it looks like we should be clear to green because everybody's kind of spread out. That's what happens at Pocono. You get a lot of green flag runs, you get a lot of spread out cars, and this is a good track. I mean, just like what you saw at Road America this past weekend with the Cup Series and with Xfinity, you see these drivers, you figure out who's really the best of the best. Because just like a road course, not one corner is like the other here at Pocono. So you're able to see who can drive this track the best right now.
Right now, Kyle Milliken is out front by a significant margin over Ryan Broderick. Justin Diltz is about half a second back, but he is trying his best to close that gap and chase down P2.
Comes the 19 machine. He is on the back bumper of that 16 car. We'll see what happens between these two drivers, because this is the time of the race where you know those tires for the 16 are just screaming hot.
Well, we're got a caution flag. Dan Withers has crashed.
Uh-oh, Rick.
Do you come in?
Yeah, 100%. You come in. You get tires. Last time by, these drivers were 1.5 seconds off qual times. I mean, with as big as this track is, you 100% come off, because it's a rhythm track. You go off of turn 1, you get a good run into turn 1, you get a good run off of turn, really, I mean, technically, if you want to consider it turn 2, get a good run off of turn 2, you set up for turn 3, then you get turn 4 and turn 5. So yes, you do come down pit road, I imagine, but as good old Larry Mack or Clint Boyer would say, this changes everything. So looking right now, is that another blown engine?
I think it is.
Yeah-oh.
Yep, that is a blown engine.
Wow.
Dan Withers is laying down.
Two blown motors.
Yep, little oil on the track by Dan Withers here. Crossing the start-finish line. He has blown up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is 2 blown motors tonight. One from Bill Hull, I believe. No, it's Thomas Para. One from Thomas Para, one from Dan Withers. And we are now looking on board. There's a 19 machine riding in P3. So, I think you have to come down pit road here because of where this race is going to be. It's going to end under green-white checkered. I think, is this our first green-white checkered, Rick?
I think we had. It could be. It could be.
It could be. Well, there comes the 10 car.
Oh, someone stayed out.
I think that's a lap down car. But everybody's coming down pit road right now. 10, 16, 19, 7, 9. Everybody come down pit road. All your leaders coming down. So here we go. This is going to be the race to the end here. With more than likely, it's going to be a green-white checkered. We'll see what this 16 crew can do. Let's hope that 10 car doesn't have any issues on pit road. Looks like he gets in, gets off, gets in really nicely. We'll see if he gets off nice. And makes his way into P1. Again, here comes the 3 car. We know he slid through his stall once. Left's on. And there goes the 6. Oh! Rick, we have some strategy play here. I believe
that was
16
right
only
sides.
took right sides.
Right
sides only.
Yep. Right sides only for Ryan Broderick in the 16. Everybody else took 4 stickers and a splash of fuel.
So,
gambling.
Here's my thoughts on that. He was in P2. So it's not like he was going to lose any spots. More than likely, he's had a fast pick through all night long. So why not just start up aside, the number 10 of Milliken, and make your way around him yourself, because the 16 has been the fastest short run car. I think unless he's trying to outrun these guys on the restart, which could be very well what he does, I think at this track it is almost a little bit riskier because of how long this track is. You don't have, you don't have the limited available time that you have on a normal green-white checkered because how big this track is. I mean, it takes you, 2-3 minutes to get around 2 or 3 times. So we'll see what happens. But if I'm reading this correctly, Rick, that 22 is our leader.
That's what it shows on the board. We'll see how it. Well, he's currently in that position. There may be a wave around at this point.
No, he is your leader.
He is our leader.
So I think this is a terrible strategy call for the 10 machine. The reason why is because he is not going to be able to get the same kind of restart that the 10 is behind that 22. Rick, I don't like making predictions like this, but I think pretty strongly about this. I think turn 1, you may see 3 wide going for the lead going into turn 1 by the number 10 machine going down to the bottom side of the 22. Just my thoughts, just my prediction. We'll see what happens.
So that 22 of Ty Bosick last pitted on lap 61. So he's got 10 lap old tires.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how those hold up. But our leader right now, we have a little bit of history. Rick, from Donna in the chat, she says that Ty Bostic is the grandson of Bill Bostic, Wild Bill, the number 22 of dirt track fame in the 1960s. So a little bit of education there for our audience and for you, Rick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got some of Grandpa's magic here, and you may see some of that dirt track experience kicking in and that dirt track blood, because that 22 car is going to be loose. That's all I got to say on when you get these tires heated up at Pocono, especially when you get them cooled down. Going back on a restart is going to be crazy. So 22 is backing this field up, Rick. I think this is going to be a wild finish to the end of the Bent Parts SimLab 188. So do not miss it if you're watching live. 22 is your control car. And we are off. Green flag racing here tonight. 3 to go. Green, white, checkered. Ty Bostic is still your leader. There goes Broderick on the high side. Broderick sent it in there. He's going to be sliding up. Here comes Milliken on the bottom side. Ty Bostic is still in control of this race, but here comes Milliken to the inside.
Broderick drops down behind the 10.
Broderick does. He has those fresh right side tires. Oh, 10's loose. 10 is loose.
Oh, back up. There's lots of slicing and dicing there. Three wide.
This is not good. This is not good. Oh, he sent it in there. Oh, my gosh. Broderick sent it in there and cleared both of them.
Oh, in the grass for the 16.
Here comes, they're going to the white flag over there.
Wrecking. The 7 has...
Ryan Chapman, and they have reached the last lap. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That happened before the start-finish line. We are back to yellow.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. I thought he hit the start-finish line before the lights came on. But let's see what happened here with Ryan Chapman.
There's a lot happening here.
Is that teammate on teammate? Yep, teammate got into him and hooked him.
It's like the 19 kind of came down. That's unfortunate.
Yep. And then, that 7 car had nowhere to go. That's just a sad feeling if you're the 7 machine, because you're going to hit that inside wall going head on. Very hard wreck for that number 7. He is more than likely going to be out of this race.
Not the birthday he was hoping for.
No. Not the kind of fire he was hoping to blow out at the end of this one. Thank goodness that thing didn't blow up, but that car surprisingly is still under power. Did not catch fire or blow up. But as I was not expecting, Ty Bostic is still your leader here tonight in the Speed Demon NSRL Grand National Series. And this Bent Parts SimLab 188 is going to be extended one more time. Right now, we'll see if they are going to get the one to go next time by. I would expect that they do. But, Rick, I don't even know what to expect anymore because I did not expect Ryan Broderick to send it in there and for it to stick and then get loose. I mean, they were going to be coming 3 wide, coming to the white flag. So I expect to see some more fireworks before the end of this race ends.
We'll keep our eye on that front trio of Bostic, Broderick, and Milliken. Not to leave out Justin Dilts. He is right there in our 4th spot.
Yep, and we know that Broderick is not afraid to send it in there. So Broderick may make the bold move tonight. Who knows? It may be Milliken there in P3, trying to get by, going to the inside. He knows that these green-white checkers are going to be hectic, so he may try to get a good stump. But what about Ty Bostic, able to hold on for 1 lap? If we'll see if this can actually work.
Well, in fact, Ty Bostic was a victim of some earlier connection issues, and he was able to rework his pit stops to get back on the lead lap, to get out there. Now, even though he did pit on lap 61, he's in charge of this race.
Yes, he is. I know how hard it is to get back in the race after you've had connection issues. You have to wait for it to load up. You have to make sure your connection's fine, and then you have to get back in the race. So kudos to Ty for sticking in it, because a lot of people, once they have connection issues, they'd be like, oh, it's not worth it. They'd stay, they'd just kind of back out. But Ty Bostic, no, he is a warrior tonight, and he is riding around in P1. We should be getting 1 to go, Rick. Lights are going to be turned off on the pace car. Out of Rockingham, North Carolina, your Southern E Motorsports driver tonight is leading them around on round 2 of NASCAR overtime.
Well, I hope he can continue to hang in there through this race. Right now, the weather map does not look good over Rockingham, North Carolina. It's a lot of reds and yellows, and that is not a good thing.
No, I think the only thing he wants to see is that checkered flag, and that checkered flag fast. He doesn't want to see any yellows or reds from a rain perspective or a caution flag perspective. So we'll see what happens here tonight as they are making their way around. And if you would love to see more of this high-speed action, especially in this Grand National Series sponsored by Speed Demon, another partner of sponsors for the NSRL Grand National Series, make sure to like this video and like this live stream and give us a subscribe or a follow, because we are going to be broadcasting, not next Tuesday because we have an off week, but we are going to be broadcasting week 8 through 34 of this long NSRL Grand National Series race. We are race 7 here tonight in the Bent Parts Sim Lab 188, and it's going to be hectic. That's all I got to say. So don't leave your seat now, or don't leave your phone or your screen or your TV, whatever you're watching this, because this is going to be wild, Rick. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to expect.
I expect us back to 3 wide.
I expect so too. So we'll see. They are now making their way off of turn 4. You see the 22 backing that field up again. He is the control car. As soon as that car hits the restart zone, he can go. He is off. Green flag racing here tonight, and here we go. 10 car goes to the inside. 16 goes to the high side. That's the 3 wide action I was talking about. 3 wide for the lead. Going into turn 1. 10 car all the way in the bottom. Here comes Luke Bullard on the bottom of the picture. Ryan Broderick is riding around on the high side. Kyle Milliken is on the bottom side. I think you're going to have a battle between those 2 cars coming off the corner. Side-by-side action. Ryan Broderick now takes the lead and shuts the door on the 10 machine going into turn 2 and turn 3.
They're through turn 2.
Oh, 10 is sideways, 16 in the wall. They are battling and banging, and the 10 car is now around the 16 machine of Broderick. Broderick is sideways going through turn 3 and turn 4. He is sideways again. He is still sideways, 3 wide for 3rd place. Where are you going to go? Coming to the line, white flag. You have 3 wide behind them for 2nd place between Bullard there. You have, I believe that's the number 9 machine of Pro. You still have 3 wide. Luke Bullard in the middle.
Oh, the 3 contact.
contact. Here comes the 22 machine. 16 is still going around. And 22 is now up to P3. We have a wrecked car. That is, I believe, Luke Bullard there. Not going to bring out a caution because it is the final lap.
You have Alan Crowell.
Alan Crowell. How did he get up there?
Up to P2.
Alan Crowell is now moving his way up to P2. And you have your leader, Kyle Milliken, coming out of turn 3, coming out of turn 4. He is looking to get a victory here tonight. And we have a wreck coming off of turn 3. That is the 22 of Ty Bostic. So your winner is going to be Kyle Milliken, followed by Alan Crowell, followed by Ryan Broderick in P3. Justin Dilton, P4. Ty Bostic rounds out your top 5. So Kyle Milliken steals one. But what a move by Alan Crowell there. He was not even in the picture, and he was able to come up and finish in P2.
That's pretty amazing. Let's go back and quickly look at that Luke Bullard incident. In the wall, he held it there, allowing those competitors to drop down beneath him.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. He finished up in the P7 tonight. But that battle for third place right there, you see Broderick sending it into the corner. Here he goes. He sends it up the track. That 22 gets loose behind him. Keeps it steady, but allows that 19 to get by. So Ty Bostic finishes in P5 tonight. But gosh, what a race at the end. Milliken was able to pull it off, and very well-deserved burnouts here. Has he tapped the wall? Totally okay. It's okay. These cars were all torn up tonight. Everybody was sideways here at the Tricky Triangle. But what a race by these drivers here at Pocono in the Grand National Series. Look at that 10 car. He is going to tear it up for sure. I'm going to do some more donuts across the start-finish line. Some well-deserved donuts out of number 10. So this is, I believe, Kyle Milliken's 4th win of the season, Rick. Milliken has taken a stranglehold. He has won now. Let me get my handy-dandy calculator out. He has won 57% of the races this season. In 7 starts, he has 4 wins, 6 top 5s, and 7 top 10s.
That's just amazing.
And he's the point leader.
That's the trifecta.
Yes, I think he won a stage 2 tonight. So what a run by that team and that driver. Let's see if we can bring on is Ryan Broderick available, Rick, to bring up into the booth for some interviews?
I am looking. I do not see Ryan Broderick currently available, and I don't think his in-car is working.
Alrighty, so don't miss a beat, because we're going to get some interviews with at least P2 and P1. Is Alan Crowell available to talk?
He is. Let me try and reach out to Alan and see if we can move him to the broadcast booth. All right, Alan, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Oh, hi there.
Wow.
What a move. I mean, you were really not even in the picture there, and by chaos between the 16, the 19, the 22, Bullard, everybody, you were able to come home in second.
Yeah, that was definitely a race for survival for me. I could get into the corner better than it seemed like a lot of them, because I'd gain, but I just couldn't get off the corner.
Well, you were certainly in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go that way. I expected it to be Ty with his tires being so old, but
it all works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a phenomenal run. I mean, you're all of you Elevated Motorsports guys are either somewhere in the top 5. Unfortunate for Chapman there, he wasn't able to have the finish that he wanted, because that last caution came out right before the start-finish line. But you have Milliken there, your teammate in P1, you're in P2, Justin Diltz in P4. You all have, as a team, sort of a stranglehold on the rest of the league. So what's your secret sauce? What's going down there with Elevated? Because it's phenomenal to watch you guys race out there.
The team's ability to work together.
Chemistry, it's important.
Yeah, we got people that can get a good baseline setup, and then we all tweak on it, and then we figure out what works best for each other.
Well, it certainly shows, that's for sure.
Yeah, I gotta give a lot of thanks to Kyle for getting this one for this week, even though I couldn't drive it. But
well, you were able to come home in P2, which is it sounds like it obviously went your way towards the end. So any shout outs or any thanks you want to give tonight before we talk to the winner, Kyle?
Yeah, I want to. I don't know. I think it was a racing incident with me and Dan earlier in the race. I think it just butted in my lane. I was still straight for the corner, and he had to come down a little bit and whatnot. But I want to apologize for getting into Dan. It was not intentional whatsoever. I just want to thank the rest of the team as well, and you guys.
All right, well, there's your second place driver of Alan Kroll. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week. Well, the week after.
Yeah, the week after. It's gonna be nice to have a week off.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, Rick. So Rick, let's bring in once let me see. Yes, we can bring in Mr. Milliken. We seem to talk to him every week, but let's see if we can get him here in the broadcast booth.
Kyle, congratulations and welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a wild finish there at the end between you and the 16 and the 22 of Bostic. You were out front all race long, but that last two restarts, you were kind of you were the first car with 4 fresh tires because the 16 took 2, and obviously the 22 had no clean tires. He didn't come down pit road at all. So run us through kind of your thoughts as those last two restarts unfolded for the green right checkers.
Yeah, I knew I had pretty decent speed, but short run, I was pretty loose. So that last stop, I tightened it up quite a bit, and I knew the other guys stayed out or only took 2 tires, and some of those guys were wrecking loose off every corner. I knew it was going to be a pretty exciting finish.
Yeah, we certainly saw a number of them dirt tracking it around, especially through turn 2.
Yeah, I tell you, I didn't have high hopes for this race. I just wanted to get through it. I haven't run here a lot, but that was probably one of the most fun races I've had, at least in a while. I mean, people were, side by side, pointing their nose towards the infield, sideways off the corners, and bouncing off each other's doors. But everyone kept it straight, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to call up here in the booth. We didn't know who was going to win because we know you had fresh tires, but it looked like the 16 of Broderick almost had the winning strategy. But we also thought about Ty Bostic. How was he going to be able to hold off everybody on his old tires? And y'all were 3 wide at some points, 2 wide. People were cutting each other off. It was just a phenomenal race, really by everybody. But kudos to you. You're in here for your 4th win. You have 6 top 10 or 6 top 5, 7 top 10s. I asked Alan what the secret sauce is for Elevated. So I'm going to ask you the same question. What is the secret sauce between you and these other Elevated Motorsports drivers? Because there's something going right.
Track time. We spend a lot of time practicing together and trying to work on each other's weaknesses and strengths and trying to help each other out. But we really been putting the time in on these sets, and it's been paying off.
It definitely shows for certain.
But well, congratulations tonight, Kyle. You're having an off week before we head to Kentucky on the 19th, so it's going to be a little bit of off time. Probably nice for everybody to take a week off. But any thanks or shout outs you want to give before we sign off on the broadcast tonight?
Shout out to everyone that shows up every week. That was a really good race. Hope it continues, and we're going to put some time in, try and recruit some more people here.
Sounds great. Well, there's your winner, Kyle Milk, and I think we do have the number 3 driver of Ryan Broderick in the queue. We just bring Ryan in.
Alrighty, so let's bring him in.
Ryan Broderick, welcome to the broadcast booth.
I hope I put on a show for you guys there on that.
Yeah, you definitely did with that 2-tire strategy. I was thinking, okay, this may be the winning move of the race. But gosh, all race long, you had that speed in that 16 car. You were able to battle around with that 10. And, give us a rundown. That caution came out 6 to go, made the decision to take only right sides. Walk us through that decision and walk us through the last 2 green-white checkers that we had in the race.
So, part of the decision there was I was thinking everybody's got to pit here. Nobody's crazy enough to say, all right. So I was like, all right. I looked at the kind of tire wear under yellow to see what kind of tire wear it was. And I think on a race run, 20 laps, I want to say. So here's the post-race. They're around like 63, 62% on the left side. So I'm like, all right, maybe I can get away with the right sides only. So I was like, I'll throw them on there. I can get myself out in front of the 10. I was bad on restarts all night. So I figured if I was the leader, I could have a better shot at it. And I just felt like I had to get in front of that 10 no matter what. I just wasn't close enough to him coming on the pit road to beat him off. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I didn't expect that 22 to not come down pit road, but he almost had the winning strategy. So did you. That 10 car was just so good on fresh tires, but I think, if you could have gotten, in front of that 10 being the control car, this race may have looked a little bit different, because I was surprised that you were able to keep that car underneath you there with only those 2 fresh tires. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was definitely tricky. I figured it was going to be loose, but I think we would have been a lot better. It was just way too wicked loose off of the corners. In the first 3 quarters, it was fine. And that's normal, like center off, I feel like, is when it normally gets bad on 2 tires, but it was fine. And it just kind of was snappy on the exit. And that's kind of what happened to me on that first restart you saw out of 3. Kind of just got loose and got in the grass there. So other than that, it was a lot better than I expected.
Well, there's your 3rd place finisher, and it's Ryan Broderick. Ryan, thank you for your time in the booth. Any shout-outs you'd like to put out there?
I got this VRS set up 5 minutes before the race, jumped in here, so that worked out pretty well. So it was sketchy throwing on a setup, not knowing what it's going to do, and saying, hey, let's just go full send. So.
All right.
Yeah, you definitely sent it. That was one of my keys when I talked about you tonight on the race, Ryan. You were definitely not scared to send that 16 car into the corner. But congratulations on a 3rd place run tonight. But everybody watching along, that is your 3rd place finisher, Ryan Broderick. Definitely an exciting driver, an exciting race that we were able to experience tonight, Rick. So that concludes this Bent Parts Sim Lab 188. So if you're still watching along, I see a lot of y'all on YouTube are. Make sure to give us a like on the video and to subscribe to the IWM Broadcast Network so you can follow all along. Next week, we are off for the 12th. And we are also coming back on the 19th. So 19th, we are at Kentucky Speedway for the Bluegrass 250, followed by Dover Motor Speedway's Delaware 200 on the 26th, followed by Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, the Most Sport 250 on August 2nd, before another off week, and then we're into basically a 12-week stint there. But Rick, I got to say, what an exciting finish to a very somewhat uneventful race up to that point.
It was. It certainly came down to the wire. We had our restarts and our green white checkers. It was great. It was wonderful to watch those last restarts. It was exciting. So we hope for more exciting finishes here with this NSRL group. And just to let those who are watching know that this is Tuesday. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, you can tune in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We will be at Talladega for the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Cup Series. That will be tomorrow, 80 laps at Talladega. That should be a fun race to call and to watch.
That is going to be wild. So make sure to tune into that tomorrow night around the same time, same channel. And this is John DeRudris and Rick Souza. We hope you have a wonderful Tuesday night and a wonderful week.
All right. Good night, folks.